Looking for somewhere special to host your meeting or convention? Maybe a spot for a special weekend getaway. Somewhere authentic and full of things to do. Let me introduce you to Buffalo, New York, a city rich in multicultural history and packed with things you'll tell your family and friends about when you get home. We are a city used to handling everything, from an NCAA basketball tournament to a family reunion.
We usually try to meet at least once a year.
We eat and we sing and we pray. We're going to go out and look at the falls and have a good time afterwards.
Buffalo has been great. I've got to show off my city.
Buffalo grew as fast as our country did. The Erie Canal ended right here, bringing with it a variety of people. Over the years, more people came, bringing their cultures and traditions, and they're not afraid to share them.
We're proud of our Puerto Rican heritage. We're proud of our Puerto Rican people. We're proud of all the successes that we have had here in the city of Buffalo, and we get to be proud of who we are as a community.
It is one of Buffalo's most interesting festivals. Along with the food and friends is a tradition brought from Puerto Rico years ago. A telephone pole covered with a thick coating of grease. 40 feet above the ground, prizes await their winner. But the real treasure is the contest itself.
My name is Douglas. William Douglas.
Meet Doug, a former slave who ran a tavern called Doug's Dive in the 1850s.
I'm from the great southern state of Tennessee.
Housed in a basement along Buffalo's waterfront, Doug's offered food, drink, and shelter to African-American boatmen and escaped slaves. You can relive that history today. Our history is unique and help shape a nation. Here you can walk in the shoes of those who travel the road to freedom, discover the places, and learn about the people who risked everything they had to get where we are today.
This is where the slaves came to hide when they were on the run for freedom. This is where they would hide, right here in this church.
There's no room at all. Very cold.
It is unique, absolutely. We've been to other African American museums, but to have the real personal touch that we had today, to really go back in time with a character in period costume who spent most of the day with us, that's really a unique touch.
That room is so tight. Back then, slaves were small, so they wasn't fine and big and sexy like myself. You know, this is new sexy.
If you look here to your left, that bridge, that's where Harriet Tubman crossed over into freedom. This is the home of Reverend Nash. Reverend Nash was a very good preacher.
Reverend J. Edward Nash was the pastor of the Michigan Street Baptist Church. He was very active in the early NAACP and Urban League. His home is now a museum preserving his legacy.
In the home, there are wax figures of him and his wife, and they have so many sermons that he used to preach.
Being able to walk on the same path that your ancestors did, I felt the energy. I'm very excited about having come to Buffalo. I really am, and beyond pleased, beyond pleased.
Now, when freedom came, I can guarantee you them folks were shouting and praising. That's what they call the Juneteenth that they do every year, the first Juneteenth. So when June the 10th comes around, y'all should celebrate.
A uniquely American celebration, Buffalo hosts one of the largest Juneteenth festivals in the country. Today, it reminds us all of how important freedom is. A freedom to share, to experience, and to rejoice. And the food's not too bad either.
Slow smoke, 8 hours. And we got pterodactyl drumsticks too.
Our community is woven of many fabrics. Take some time to get off the beaten path and discover some of our hidden treasures.
I am every integer from 0 to 9, the conscious and the sublime. I am all verbs of all phrases, every chapter of all pages throughout time for all ages.
On Tuesday nights, a lot of creative energy is shared, exchanged, and absorbed. And it gives somebody who doesn't necessarily want to go to a bar, who doesn't want to go to a club, it gives them something else, an alternative to those things. You have an open invitation to come out and check out open mic poetry.
My name's Jay Carrier. I'm an artist here in Niagara Falls. I specialize in contemporary indigenous art. This piece is a drawing of my grandmother. It's going to a gallery museum in Hamilton, Ontario. Some of it is my culture, some of it is my heritage, some of it is very personal thoughts, and some of it is just abstractions. It could be painting, it could be assemblage. It doesn't necessarily reside within the traditional native art genre. If you really dig into these areas, you'll find a lot of really good artists.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You can travel around the world and you won't find another place like this. The Colored Musicians Club was established in 1917 and is the oldest operating African-American jazz club in the world.
Back at a time when black musicians weren't allowed in the union, so they formed their own union. After any type of gig or whatever, the guys would come up here and play cards or jam with each other, and that's how the club got famous.
Back in the day, anyone who was anyone played in this simple old brick building. Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Duke Ellington, and Dizzy Gillespie all made music here. And if you listen hard enough, you can still hear it. From a small room to a large hotel, Buffalo can host any size gathering. We have over 8,500 hotel rooms, numerous restaurants, and countless places to discover. Just minutes away is one of the great wonders of the world. Take a look around. This is one of the world's most genuine gathering spots. There is no place like Buffalo. From our architectural wonders to the flavors that course through our food. You may visit for business, but you'll stay for fun.